There's no way anything else can blow me away as much as Avengers Infinity War did this week. And then I watched episode 4 of the third season of My Hero Academia. The quality isn't always consistent with the show because it's a battle shonen, and those kinds of specific stories in that kind of specific genre, they have their lows and highs inevitably. They have their fillers, very misguided sense of humor. But once the show gets rid of all that and it focuses on the harrowing drama of the moment, it is as emotionally powerful as it can possibly get. So yes, episode 4 of My Hero Academia personally blew me away much further than Infinity War did. And that's a testament to good, powerful, emotional storytelling done right.
Yeah, it was a wonderful show. I just watched it last night before I went to bed. And I haven't read the manga first and seen that whole fight between Deku and Muscle got in paper and just how it translated to animation. There's just so much impact in that, and so much emotion just put into everything.
Indeed.
And you just see like the disgustingness of Deku's arm being basically ripped apart so horribly, and by the end of it, it's all ragged and basically broken to the very nth of the word of broken is. You just see how much pain he goes through just to be a hero. And it just hits you right in the heart.
Yes, it's really well done. I am pretty sure everybody loves this show by this point. Now, to be fair, the first 3 episodes of the new season were quite slow on the intake, on the uptake, on the take, as it were. They had to basically summarize what has happened up until that point and establishing what was happening up until episode 4, that is. But it's with episode 4 that it really gets going and it doesn't let up. If I have one complaint, though, they need to kill off Mineta as soon as possible. He is killing the enjoyment of the show every time he's on screen.
But they never do.
That's the kind of character that exists to be a comic relief, except he occasionally is supposed to have his serious moment, but he can never work as either a funny or serious character because his own ongoing one-note joke is absolutely reprehensible, and unfortunately it is a long time running staple within the anime industry to have the light-hearted lech, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, it's basically just sort of the running joke of everyone just sort of hating Mineta right now. Like, I will admit, I did like his fight in the early season, and that was a really good moment for him, but he's still a little horrible person.
It is. But like I said, when My Hero Academia drops the shenanigans that aren't funny, that's when it gets real good. Unfortunately, you might have to wait a few episodes before you get to the unbelievably impactful fight scenes.
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, My Hero Academia's fight scenes are just some of the best animated and choreographed fight scenes that I've seen. I don't even know how long.
Well,
like every single one of the main ones have basically just been so just mind-blowing in its scope. Yeah, the scope of them are just sort of small. Like one of the biggest fights of the last season was just between Deku and Todoroki. In the grand scheme of all fight scenes and all that, that's a really small thing. That's basically just like a karate match in a tournament. But they made it such an explosive, emotional sort of turning point for both characters. Even though in the grand scheme of the world, it's so small. That's just what the whole show is really good about. It's about making that emotion to like the grandiose sort of moments that basically turn the whole anime on its head, that turn the whole superhero genre on its head, and it just makes My Hero Academia much more insightful than a lot of other shows out there nowadays, while also just being just a shonen battle anime.
Yes. In fact, what I find really appealing about My Hero Academia, it's basically a Silver Age comic imbued with battle shonen. What's not to like?
Right.
I would argue that shows like Psycho Mob 100 and One Punch Man also had some of the best animated fight scenes of the modern era, along with My Hero Academia.
Definitely.
Those are all pretty good shows right now. I have to say, this is a pretty good moment for anime, as far as I'm personally concerned. This is a very good season right now. There is this show I am watching right now titled Magical Girl Ore. I don't know if you've heard about it.
I think I saw it on your Twitter a few times.
Yes, I've tweeted extensively about it. It's really quite something. It starts off as a silly, funny parody of the Mahou Shoujo genre, the magical girl genre, as it is, that flips a few conventions on its head, including the familiar animal being this ugly, tough-looking Yakuza that tries to look cute, and the girl transforms into this butch, muscular man wearing drag. But as the show goes on, it turns out to be much, much, much more than I anticipated it. Because there aren't really jokes at the expense of the female-to-male transformation, as much as there are jokes, clever jokes built around that, not at the expense of it. And as it turns out, the show is really about queer positivity and a commentary about gender politics, which is surprisingly progressive for Japan. In fact, one element that plays a bigger role in that positive message is in the character design itself. The manly magical girls, which, you know, are literally men wearing girly dresswear, they look legitimately cute. I can't believe I am saying this, seeing that I am the straight man in our group here.
Yeah.
But
Right.
they are actually adorable. Media have been conditioning us to place psychological walls between what is generally considered to be manly and therefore good, and what is generally considered to be girly and therefore not for men. What's clever and progressive about this anime is how it effortlessly combines the two distinguished elements, and it does not create a contrast. Rather, it creates a juxtaposition and a legitimately appealing design. The two elements don't contrast each other, they complement each other, and thus those manly, muscular men with girly dresses look legitimately appealing and not appalling. And that, my friend, just by design, by character design that is, says a lot about gender politics.
Yeah, because the last sort of anime that basically had that sort of like men dressed as women thing, and basically on a big wide scale, was in One Piece. But as we saw in One Piece, they more played that as just sort of like, oh, they're gross, disgusting, they're all weird and tough and all that.
Yes, you
Not really
know,
playing it as just sort of like a positive stereotype, except if you could arguably say like Bon Clay would be the only positive stereotype of the whole bunch. But definitely the overwhelming one is just like, ugh, gross. They're tough at wearing dresses and such. They're weird.
well, you know, as much as One Piece managed to stay good generally good and relevant throughout the years, unlike any other battle shonen to my knowledge. Its longevity is encomiable. It is also a much more mainstream series, and unfortunately, certain stereotypes still play a bit in the mainstream mentality that
Yeah.
needs to be changed. And I am glad Magical Girl Ore exists to try and change that mentality. Baby steps, but significant baby steps, no less. I would recommend it to you
Definitely.
because it is also really funny. Really, really, really funny.
I've been looking for a really funny anime, so I'll definitely be going into that. I've been basically actually running up a list of anime that I really want to watch and catch up on.
Add that to your list.
Yeah, I'll just write it right there. Magical Girl. Alright, there we go.
Yes. The world
I
needs
actually have a notepad right in front of me for this.
the world needs big boys in drag. Now more than ever.
They certainly do.
Big boys in drag. Big boys in drag. Big
Big
boys in drag.
boys and drag. Yay!
Yes.